Yeah, so this Japanese word, I discovered it when I moved out here actually. And yeah, it's a really, really lovely, deep, insightful, meaningful word and a big part of the culture here, I realized. And it basically means the serendipitous connections you have with people, encounters that basically change your life for the better. And yeah, the word is called Goen. Goen. Have you heard that word before? Let me know if you have or haven't. But yeah, it's quite widely used out here, Goen. And as I explained the meaning earlier, but the Chinese character or the kanji for this word is pretty interesting. So it has like the character for string, itohen as they call it out here, but it's got the character for string. So literally kind of like the connection or the connection is symbolized within the character itself, which is cool. If you study Japanese or study kanji, yeah, it's got so much depth to it. Yeah, it's really, really cool. But yeah, so this word, obviously I moved to Japan through meeting somebody. If I hadn't met this person, I wouldn't be talking to you right now on this camera or this iPhone. But yeah, so this is kind of like my first experience hands-on with the word Goen. And when I tell people this story, 95% of them would say to me, Goen desu ne, which literally means, yeah, that's the serendipitous, meant to be, predestined. That's another nuance to this word. It's kind of like a meant to be kind of thing. But yeah, these Japanese people, they use it quite a lot. And, you know, looking back at my 9 years here, always meeting the right person at the right time. Things always happen through meeting people. That's how I kind of like look at my life. It's always through meeting the right person at the right time that the next door becomes revealed. And yeah, so this word Goen is kind of like a repeated thing. But yeah, I've kind of got a real personal connection to this word since moving out here. And like I said to you earlier, you know, people use it. You hear it quite a lot. People in Japan, they really appreciate, well, people. It's really nice. It's a very collective society. Different to the West. West is more kind of individualistic. Pros and cons, I guess. But yeah, in Japan, you know, they really appreciate the connection that you have with people, and represented through words such as Goen, which is really, really nice. But funny fact about this word as well. So it's not just meeting people that they use this word. It's actually also through finding nice materialistic objects. Kind of sounds a bit hypocritical in some ways, if you ask me. But no, so for example, without showing anything off, I'm wearing a lovely Rolex Daytona. This is a beautiful watch. It has a lot of personal significance. So I got this watch when I turned 30. I wanted something that kind of, so I was just about to turn 30, and I wanted something that, you know, kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically moving forward in life, entering 30s, what can I get for myself that has meaning? What can I get for myself that, you know, really help me moving forward? And I thought, you know, I don't have a watch. I don't have a nice watch. Which watch should I get, kind of thing? And yeah, when I say, you know, something meaningful moving forward, it's basically obviously being self-employed, meeting a lot more people, putting myself out there a lot more, having a nice watch. You know, it does symbolize something, right? It gives you a state of, you know, this guy's got something going there, kind of thing. I didn't know anything about watches, so I was like, which watch should I get? Rolex obviously was the first brand that came to mind. I guess kind of being raised in London, Wimbledon, and the sponsors of the Rolex logo kind of maybe crept in there. Fucking marketing, eh? But no, so I thought I was going to get a Rolex, but which Rolex should I get? And asking a few people, a lot of people said, oh, you should try get a Daytona. And I was like, okay, let me see what the Daytona is. And I was very ignorant at the time. For any of you watch lovers or people who know about watches, getting a Rolex Daytona, especially these days, is not easy. At that time, I thought I can just walk into the store, bop my shoulders, you know what I mean, walk in there, say, bruv, get me a Daytona, and they'll put it out straight away. But no, little did I know, it was very difficult to get. So yeah, you know, I just turned 30, birthday had passed, didn't have my watch, and I asked a few people around. But a couple weeks after my birthday, I got a phone call from one of my clients who initially said no, he doesn't know how to get it. But he called me up and he said, listen, the Rolex dealer just called me and apparently they have a Daytona in store. And he said, strangely enough, that apparently he asked for the Daytona like 3 years before, but he doesn't remember asking for this Daytona. So he's like, listen, I don't remember asking for it. Obviously you're asking for it and I don't really need it. So if you want, you can buy it instead of me. I don't know if that is allowed in this day and age, but they seem to be getting more and more strict. But you know, literally it's kind of cool. And I was like a bit confused at the time. But yeah, lo and behold, we went to the Rolex store and there it was, this wonderful, beautiful black Daytona. Managed to buy RRP, which is another very rarity. These watches appreciate in value. But no, this kind of story is really, really cool. Like I said, I'm not here trying to show off to you guys. I'm basically saying this kind of story and this kind of a purchase, if you say this to a Japanese person, they would use that word again, which is very interesting, Goen. So like I said, it's not just used to describe meeting the right people, but actually when you pick up nice objects, they use this word too. So interesting fact there for you. And yeah, also pets and animals and all this kind of stuff, they like to use this Goen word. Kind of maybe, I hope I'm not reducing the value of this word through cheap use of it, but no. Well, this definitely ain't cheap use for it. But listen, nice little word there for you. So that's a word that Japan taught me, yes. Raised in London, being brought up with the language, which is cool. But obviously these kind of more deeper cultural, insightful words I discovered out here. So nice little Japanese insight there for you wonderful people. Yes, so have a really good day or evening, and hope to see you guys soon. Peace.